Good morning, children. In my first lecture, I gave you an idea about the chemical reactions and equations which we had come across in standard 9th, in which I mentioned about the chemical change, physical change, few examples on it, reversible, irreversible terms I had explained over there with examples. So now, after the quick revision of 9th, we'll now quickly move into chapter 1 of standard 10, chemical reactions and equations. Now in this chapter you come across different types of chemical reactions, but before that, any chemical reaction which you find around, here there are a few examples which has been given. As I mentioned, milk will turn sour in summer. Then any iron items made of iron will become corrosive, will corrode or will rust due to humidity. The grapes or any fruits and vegetables which is having water content more, after a few days, if it is not preserved properly, you will find that it gives out a foul smell and more amount of water drains out. That is, fermentation has occurred over there. The food gets cooked when you heat it, when you supply heat energy. In your body, the digestion process itself is a type of chemical reaction. Respiration is yet another chemical reaction. Both of them are opposite to each other. When we look into the types of reactions, you'll understand it better, because here the food is broken down into smaller parts in your different organs of the digestive tract, and respiration is further breakdown in the cell. Clear? Okay. So now to understand what type of changes takes place in a chemical reaction, because whenever a chemical reaction takes place, there is a change which occurs. Okay. Before we understand what type of changes takes place, let us take up activity 1 which is given over here. What is this activity about? It says that you have to take a magnesium strip and then you have to rub it with sandpaper. Now, this is a very important question which is often asked. Why do you rub the magnesium ribbon with a sandpaper? Because magnesium is a metal. So, in nature, it is going to react with the environmental oxygen and undergo corrosion. There will be a layer formation on it, or there may be any other reactive layer on it. So to remove that, you first scrub it off. You remove that layer by the sandpaper. Now with the help of tongs, these are the tongs which is shown over here, you try to heat the strip with the help of a flame of spirit lamp. You find that you will have to hold it for quite some time, and then suddenly it catches fire. Now that flame, if you observe, it would be a dazzling white flame. Dazzling means blinding. The flame is so bright that you are unable to see around. Now, what will be formed at the end of this reaction? You will find that there are some white powder-like material which gets accumulated. That is magnesium oxide. Magnesium reacts with oxygen to form magnesium oxide. So here, if you take it in the reaction form, you will find that Mg plus O2 giving MgO. But now you find that this is not a balanced form, because here there are 2 O's and here there is 1 O. So if you want to balance it, the balanced form would be Mg plus O2 giving twice MgO, where MgO is the white powder. Got it? Okay, don't worry about the balancing. This will be a topic which will be taken up in my next lecture. There is another activity which has been given over here. Lead nitrate solution in a test tube. Now, do you know lead nitrate is a colorless solution? Okay, so lead nitrate, when you take it, it will be colorless. To that you are adding potassium iodide. That is also colorless. Both are colorless, means if you take it in the test tube, it appears as if you have taken ordinary water. It's that plain condition. But when you mix both of them, you will find that a beautiful yellow colored solution is formed. Now, what is that solution? You will find that potassium iodide, when you are adding it to lead nitrate, both are, I told you, white colored substances. It results into potassium nitrate and lead iodide. See, I have shown a downward arrow. The downward arrow shows that there is precipitation. Now, what are precipitates? Precipitate means when two soluble solutions are mixed together, insoluble component which is formed will settle down. They are called precipitate. So this lead iodide, again you find that this is not a balanced equation. Correct? Here NO3 is 2 times and here NO3 is only once. So to balance it, or the balanced form would be twice potassium iodide, which is white in color, plus PbNO3 twice, that is lead nitrate, that is also white colored solution. Both are white colored solutions. That reacts to form potassium nitrite, 2 times potassium nitrite and lead iodide. That is the yellow color precipitate which you find. Okay. Now, in the same way, there is one more activity given in your book, in which few zinc crystals are to be taken in a conical flask and dilute hydrochloric acid or sulfuric acid. Either of the acid is to be added, dropwise. Now, zinc is a metal. On metal, if you allow the acid to be poured, you find that the metal will undergo reaction. The observation which is very characteristic over here is you find effervescence. Effervescence stands for bubbles. Bubbles of a gas rises up, and as the reaction continues, the bubbles which are given, or the rate at which the bubbles come out, increases. So, and another thing which is observed is, if you touch the conical flask, it will become warm. You are not heated it, remember that. You only added acid. But the flask becomes warm, or the test tube becomes warm. That means it is an exothermic reaction. A new term comes up. Reaction in which heat is given out is exothermic. So if you try to put it in a equation form, zinc reacts with HCl giving zinc chloride and H2. Again over here there is 2 chlorine and 2 hydrogen, but here it's 1 each. So to balance it, it will be zinc plus twice HCl giving zinc chloride and H2. Here the gas, the bubbles which you saw rising is of hydrogen gas. If you collect this gas in another test tube and you bring a glowing splinter to it, it will give you a popping sound, indicating that it's hydrogen gas, because hydrogen gas burns with a loud sound. So if I sum up these 3 activities together, you will get the complete change part of it. See, in the first activity, the change was there is a white dazzling flame. The strip of magnesium gets coated with magnesium oxide, clear, white color. That is a reaction with the oxygen. Second change which you come across is color change. I told you both are white colored solutions, and it becomes yellow colored precipitate. So a color change is found in this reaction. A third one which you come across is wherein gas is liberated, at the same time there is heat also evolved. So not only gas but heat is also evolved. Therefore, any chemical reaction can bring about the following changes. Change in state. Change in state means, remember the potassium iodide one which I wrote? Both the potassium iodide and lead nitrate were liquid in state, aqueous condition, whereas PbI2, that is lead iodide, is a precipitate, is insoluble. Change in color also the same, practical. Evolution of the gas you have already seen in the zinc chloride with zinc chloride formation with hydrogen gas liberated, and temperature also increases over there. So you find that in chemical reactions there are variety of changes, various changes which you find. Now these practicals cannot be demonstrated over here, and hence in the WhatsApp group I will be sending the link of these 3 practicals. So if you go through these practicals by going through the link, you will get a better idea or a better picture. Correct? It's an animation, so it will be more clear to you. Is that point clear? So please see to it that you keep in mind what we have learned till now, because next class we'll be continuing with the balancing of chemical equation. So be healthy till then. Okay, bye.